Hello, everyone. This is Avalon Mustafa, Clinical Nutrition Manager and Dietitian at Three Crowns Park. I'll be recording today's audio for Rachel Thomson, who is a dietetic intern at University of Illinois, Chicago. She's created a presentation on omega-3s, so let's get started. All right, so these are the topics that we're going to discuss today. First off, what are omega-3 fatty acids? Then where are they found? How do they improve health? And what considerations do we have for these? Things like dosage, if we're taking a supplement. Do we have to worry about mercury? And what about other supplement options that are out there? So first off, what are omega-3 fatty acids? Omega-3 fatty acids are a group of polyunsaturated fatty acids. They're important for a number of functions in the body. The omega-3 fatty acids EPA and DHA are found in seafood, like fatty fish and shellfish, things like salmon, tuna, crabs, mussels, oysters. And then a different type of omega-3 called ALA is found in other foods, including some vegetable oils like canola and soy oil. And omega-3s are also available as dietary supplements. For example, fish oil supplements contain EPA and DHA, whereas flaxseed oil supplements contain ALA. There's moderate evidence that's emerging about the health benefits of consuming seafood, but the health benefits of omega-3 dietary supplements are a little bit unclear still. So there are three of these, EPA, DHA, and ALA. So what do all these acronyms mean? So let's see if I can pronounce these correctly. So EPA is eicosapentaenoic acid, and this is normally found in fish and seafood. Then we have docosahexaenoic acid, DHA, which is also found in fish and seafood, but has slightly different properties. And finally, alpha-linoleic acid, and this is found in nuts, seeds, and plant oils. So what do each of these do? So ALA, our plant source, we find that this is also a source of energy. So those flax seeds are giving a lot of calories with them. When we're looking at EPA, the main benefits from this type of omega-3 are heart health, and it's an anti-inflammatory. And finally, with DHA, this has a little bit more to do with cognition and vision. So cognitive development, visual development, and then again, heart health and anti-inflammatory. So where are these found? There's lots of different places. Fatty fish, obviously, is one of them. So mackerel, if we're looking at fish, when we're thinking about portion size, we're looking at about 3 ounces or about 100 grams. So in most fish, there's about 1.2 to 2 grams per serving. Mackerel goes way above this. It's about 2.5 to 2.6 grams of omega-3s per serving. So we've got wild salmon, bluefin tuna, herring, anchovies, albacore tuna, lake trout, oysters, and these all have approximately the same amount of omega-3s. And then once we start looking into algae or some of the plant options, the omega-3s are not as prevalent in these. So we've got eggs as well, fortified milk, soybean oil, flax seeds, hemp seeds, avocados, spinach, walnuts, edamame, Brussels sprouts, chickpeas, kidney beans, and a lot more. So this is just not an exclusive list, but there are many, many sources of omega-3s. What if you don't eat fish? So fish is the best source of omega-3 fatty acids, but just like we've been saying, you can get enough omega-3s from ALA. Say you're a vegetarian, right? You don't eat fish or meat. You can get your omega-3s from your ALA or plant sources, although these ALA, the alpha-linoleic acids, are not as rich of a source of omega-3s. Some studies show that ALA can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. So that's a benefit along with the omega-3s. And then when we're looking at why ALA is not as significant of a source of omega-3s, it's because ALA needs to be converted to the EPA and DHA that's found in fish. And so only a small fraction of those ALA, that alpha linoleic acid, is actually converted into our EPA and DHA. So if we wanted to just subsist off of ALA in our diet or the plant sources, we would have to eat a lot more than we normally would of the fish and seafood sources. So how does these improve health? So again, we look at this chart again. So cognitive development for DHA is a big reason. A lot of people take extra omega-3s either in the form of a fish oil supplement or something like that to help with depression. DHA also helps with visual health. So as someone is growing up, having enough DHA in their diet helps them develop good vision. And some of the more specific ways, so results of studies on diets rich in seafood, so fish and shellfish, and heart disease provide moderate evidence that people who eat seafood at least once a week are less likely to die of heart disease than those who rarely or never eat seafood. So the dietary guidelines for Americans from 2010 include a new recommendation that adults eat 8 or more ounces of a variety of seafood each week because it provides a range of nutrients, including omega-3 fatty acids. And smaller amounts are recommended for young children. There are some recommendations that are different for pregnant or breastfeeding women, but we won't go into that too much. A 2012 study of the scientific literature concluded that EPA and DHA, again, those two types of omega-3s found in seafood and fish oil, may be modestly helpful in relieving symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis in the study. Yes, and in the studies included in the review, many of the participants reported that when they were taking fish oil, they had briefer morning stiffness, less joint swelling and pain, and less need for anti-inflammatory drugs to control their symptoms. There's ongoing research on omega-3 fatty acids and diseases of the brain and the eye, but there's not enough evidence to draw conclusions about the effectiveness of omega-3s for these conditions. DHA specifically plays important roles in the functioning of the brain and the eye. Researchers are actively investigating the possible benefits of DHA and other omega-3 fatty acids in preventing or treating a variety of brain and eye-related conditions. And there's also conflicting evidence about whether a link might exist between the omega-3 fatty acids found in fish, seafood, and fish oil, and an increased risk of prostate cancer. So there needs to be more research on this association, but it is something that people are looking at. And the big takeaway, diets with food sources are better than supplements when we're thinking about omega-3s. So what considerations should we be thinking about? How much do we need? So the American Heart Association recommends the average adult at least eat 2 servings of a variety of fish each week, or a total of 6 to 8 ounces. If someone has heart disease or high triglycerides, they may recommend even higher consumption. And what about mercury? So we're eating a lot of seafood, right? And we know that mercury can sometimes be an issue with some of these deep water fish. So some fish do have a higher risk level for mercury toxicity than others, things like shark, swordfish, tilefish, albacore tuna, and king mackerel. So we want to make sure that, especially for pregnant and young women, we want to make sure that we're limiting amounts of these specific fish. But many sources of fish that we normally eat, such as salmon or chunk light tuna or something like that, those are all fairly low in mercury levels. So foods versus supplements. In this one, the evidence is not as encouraging about the value of omega-3s in pills, like fish oil supplements. One of the largest and longest randomized trials published on August 25th, 2015, in the Journal of the American Medical Association, or JAMA, was part of a larger study to find out if nutrients help delay vision loss. Researchers here followed 4,000 older adults over 5 years. Some of these adults took fish oil pills and some did not. All participants had tests of their thinking skills during the study, and test scores in both groups decreased similarly over time, suggesting that fish oil didn't slow any decline in thinking skills. Similarly, a study of DHA in people with mild to moderate Alzheimer's dementia, also published in JAMA on November 3rd, 2010, demonstrated no benefits either. So evidence suggests that seafood-rich EPA and DHA should be included in a heart-healthy diet. However, supplements of EPA and DHA have not been shown to protect against heart disease. In 2012, two groups of scientists analyzed the research on the effects of EPA and DHA supplements on heart disease risk. One group analyzed only studies in people with a history of heart disease. The other group analyzed studies in people with both with and without a history of heart disease, but neither review found strong evidence of a protective effect of the supplements. So a big takeaway from this one, again, food first. We want to make sure that we're not overlooking the value of eating omega-3 rich foods versus taking the supplements. And that is the entire presentation today. We hope you enjoyed it. And next up, we're going to be discussing probiotics with Alex Stoller. Thank you, everyone.
Gut health plays an important role in maintaining human health and vitality. The disruption of gut health has been shown to be associated with multiple diseases. People share a mutually beneficial relationship with gut microbiota, or gut bacteria. This relationship has demonstrated an ability to maintain health of your intestines and preserve your gut barrier. The gut is a complex and dynamic network in which the interaction between you and gut bacteria establishes a balanced, symbiotic, and mutually beneficial relationship. Gut health refers to the state of resilience and resistance to external disturbances, such as pathogens and viruses. Gut health is established and maintained by bacteria, which make up a person's microbiota, and leads to a functional barrier between a person and external threats. This ensures a proper immune response. Gut microbiota include all organisms within the gastrointestinal tract, your GI tract, including bacteria, archaea, eukaryotes, fungi, and viruses. Microbiome refers to the entire collection of microbial genes in the human body. Recent rapid progress in genetic mapping has provided powerful tools to determining how disturbances to the microbiome can lead to disease. In this Lunch and Learn, you will gain a better understanding of your gut and how interactions with the microbes that live inside of it, on us, and around us contributes to the clinical outcomes of your health. Your gut is made up of specialized structures that facilitate the function of your GI tract. Special cells line your gut so that you can digest the food that you eat. There's also a large population of immune cells inside of our gut. And it's one of the key ways that we maintain health by fighting off pathogens and viruses that don't align with our health. Our gut has special structures that link gut health connecting to our brain. When we eat foods and our stomachs extend, it informs our brain that we are full. Also, Our gut can inform us of the time of day. This is known as circadian rhythm. When you eat foods, it notifies our bodies that it's time to be awake. And when our bodies are digesting, we can become sleepy. Our gut also hosts many important hormones, molecules, and neurotransmitters, such as serotonin and cortisol, which make us feel happy, sad, have anxiety, or any other emotional state that can be influenced by the different molecules that are present in the gut. Our GI tract consists of our liver, gallbladder, pancreas, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine, or colon. All of these organs work together in a symphony to enable optimal health. Your gut is lined with specialized cells that are designed to digest the foods you eat, absorb nutrients from digested foods, and to maintain a barrier between our internal organs and the external world. If you think of our bodies as a tube with our GI tracts from our mouth to our anus, these cells help protect that tube from external threats such as viruses or pathogens. The health of these specialized cells, which digest and absorb nutrients, is important for maintaining a barrier to the outside world and keeping our internal world a more healthy and symbiotic place. These cells are made up of little finger-like projections that enable optimal absorption of the food that we eat. This is a photo of the intestinal bacteria that live in symbiosis with the cells that line our gut. Intestinal bacteria live in large and diverse populations within our gut and are critical to maintain the health of our gut. The human gut teems with bacteria. Many of their species are still unknown. They help us digest food and absorb nutrients, and they play a part in protecting our intestinal walls. Gut bacteria may also help regulate weight and ward off autoimmune diseases, as well as many other diseases. In fact, when you look at the human body, there are 100 trillion microbial cells versus the 30 trillion human cells that make up our body. That means we are 70% microbial cells. When you break it down into the number of microbial genes, which is about 2 million, versus human genes, which is only 23,000, genetically, humans are really only 1% human and 99% made up of the microbiota. Microbiota serve many functions in the human body. They assist with digestive and metabolic functions. They're critical in the development of our brains. They help protect against infections, pathogenic bacteria, and diseases. And they also support our immune function. There are two concepts presented on this slide. One is gut homeostasis, and the other is dysbiosis. Gut homeostasis refers to the health of our gut when we have a variety of different species of microbes and bacteria living inside our gut in a way that aligns with our health. This results in an optimal tolerant immune response. Dysbiosis is when our gut bacteria are out of sync with our body. There may be non-beneficial bacteria populating our gut in too high of quantities, or we might have too much of one type of bacteria. This affects the barrier of our intestinal lining, can allow unwanted pathogens and other threatening bacteria inside our bodies, and can result in a dysregulated immune response. Gut dysbiosis has been proven to lead to various diseases in adults. These include acute diarrhea, irritable bowel disease, functional bowel disorders, liver disease, energy dysregulation, gastrointestinal malignancy or cancers, and also C. diff. Many factors affect our microbiome: our genetics, our birth route, whether vaginal or via C-section, where we live, our hygienic practices, our level of stress, and of course, diet and nutrition affect our microbiome, as well as the drugs we take. Any disruption in our microbiome can result in a lowered immune response, and this can happen at any age. Ultimately, the most important thing for maintaining a healthy gut microbiome is to maintain a variety of complex species of microbes living inside of our gut. You may have heard of probiotics. So what is a probiotic? Oral probiotics are living microorganisms that, upon ingestion in specific numbers, exert health benefits beyond those of inherent basic nutrition. It's important to note that many probiotics are taken in pill form or via IV. Nevertheless, many probiotics live in some of the foods we eat, and we'll discuss those foods. Probiotics and taking probiotics is one way that we can enhance the diversity and complexity of the microbes that live in our gut and can therefore support gut health and immunity. While reviewing the literature, you will discover that there is strong evidence that supports the use of probiotics as a treatment or a resolution of many diseases. Probiotics have been proven to help treat diarrhea, infections, prevent antibiotic-associated diarrhea. Probiotics have been used to treat and remiss inflammatory bowel disease, pouchitis. Also, probiotics are critical for immunity. Probiotics have been used to treat atopic eczema, ulcerative colitis, C. diff colitis, which is inflammation of your colon, as well as prevent high-fat diet-induced obesity. Interestingly, the health of the gut bacteria can influence what happens when we eat food and whether or not we gain weight from eating food. Another way to influence the health of our microbiota is with prebiotics. So what is a prebiotic? A dietary prebiotic is an ingredient selectively fermented within our gut that results in specific changes in the composition or activity of the gastrointestinal microbiota, thus conferring benefits on the host. We are the hosts. And prebiotics are found in foods. They can influence our health. Our gut can digest and ferment these prebiotics and feed the microbes that live inside our gut. All prebiotics are found in food. Here are some prebiotic-rich foods: ginger, leeks, asparagus, mushrooms and other fungi, garlic, onion, arugula. sweet potato, bananas, apples, berries, citrus fruit, jicama, and other root vegetables. There are many reasons to consider prebiotics versus taking a probiotic supplement. Prebiotics have been shown to evoke similar benefits as probiotics. Also, they provide necessary substrate for microbiota. Basically, what that means is that prebiotics are food for healthy gut bacteria. Prebiotics have a lasting impact on microbiota and can improve clinical outcomes. Prebiotics are a safe, food-based strategy with a wealth of data supporting their impact on our health. Here's a demonstration of how prebiotics invoke similar benefits as probiotics. Both prebiotics and probiotics can reduce body weight gain and an increase in fat tissue. Both prebiotics and probiotics reduce inflammation in the liver and also improve our tolerance of blood sugar. What's different about prebiotics is that they can also make us feel more full from food and decrease our hunger. An additional benefit of prebiotics is that they reduce inflammation in our muscle and can also improve insulin sensitivity, which can be critical for type 2 diabetics. Prebiotics and probiotics both decrease inflammation in our fat tissue, and both have a very beneficial effect on our gut health. Having a healthy gut starts by eating vegetables and consuming many prebiotics. It's been shown over and over again in the research that fiber intake protects us against chronic diseases. These diseases include coronary heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and obesity. Fiber intake from eating lots of vegetables has been shown to reduce the risk of receiving these diseases by 70 to 80%. So foods have a very important influence on the human gut. As you can see, many factors influence the health of our gut microbiota: our lifestyle, genetics, medications that we take, and our health, but also the food we eat. Eating whole grains, fruits and nuts, and lots of vegetables with lots of fiber can help maintain healthy gut bacteria. In fact, maintaining the Mediterranean diet, as you can see on the right, improves microbiota diversity and also stabilizes our gut microbiota, leading to an optimal immune response, especially when compared with the Western diet, with a low FODMAP diet, with the ketogenic diet, a gluten-free diet, or even a vegan or vegetarian diet. It's been shown that a Mediterranean diet is the best type of diet for maintaining optimal gut health. Ultimately, prebiotics alter our microbial community. They don't just influence one isolated species of bacteria. It leads to diversity, and gut diversity is health. Prebiotics produce a lasting impact on gut microbiota and improve clinical outcomes. So what can we do to improve our microbiome? We can eat vegetables, grains, fruits, nuts, and legumes. Our gut bacteria will feed off of the fiber and help us maintain a healthy gut barrier and improve our immune response. We can include a healthy probiotic supplement approved by your physician or dietitian. We can manage our stress level, practice safe hygiene, and also prevent the effects of antibiotics by preemptively taking probiotics and eating plenty of prebiotics. So what foods have probiotics in them? We learned about a few that have prebiotics, but now you can see that fermented foods have plenty of probiotics that can also help improve our gut health. Sourdough bread, yogurt, kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, tempeh, kombucha, kefir, and even beer. These are all fermented foods that you might find in someone's diet that can help influence gut bacteria and improve our gut health. Here's a sample menu that takes you through what an ideal probiotic and prebiotic day of eating would look like. In our first meal, breakfast, you can eat yogurt, which is fermented and full of probiotics, with berries, which has lots of fiber and prebiotics. For lunch, a salmon salad with leeks. Leeks are full of prebiotics. And complement that with strawberries and carrots, which have fiber, and include a lemon vinaigrette dressing made with some onion to enhance the prebiotic content of that meal. You can also eat a snack of sourdough toast with butter and jam. Sourdough is fermented and full of probiotics. With dinner, you can have a beef and barley soup made with a miso broth. Miso is fermented and full of probiotics. Add to that skirt steak with grilled onions and a sweet potato souffle to up your fiber intake and maintain a healthy gut barrier. Thank you for your time taken today to learn about the gut and probiotics and how to maintain a healthy immune system by eating lots of vegetables and fruits. Take care.